Don't know how many of you remember the Crystal Maze, a super game show set in a weird MDF wonderland and hosted by the wonderfully demented Richard O'Brien, who frankly made the show. He also wrote the Rocky Horror Show, which gives you a little bit of an insight into his mindset. Leaping around like some kind of crazed, lovable homunculus, clad in some kind of leopard skin apparel of some kind or another. There are different zones in the Crystal Maze. You have the Industrial Zone, the Aztec Zone, a couple of other zones as well, and there were numerous challenges, physical, mental, you got to pick which. And for every challenge you completed, you got a crystal, which was quite cool, and this got you 5 seconds, 5 poxy seconds of time inside the crystal dome at the end, which was a giant crystal thing. And inside there was gold and silver tokens which fluttered about. Now, I don't know about you, but they perhaps it was just the harshness of the lights, but they always looked the same colour to me. And nobody ever won, ever. But they did get a crystal each to take home, and didn't they just look chuffed about it? And one can't help but wonder whether those tokens were in fact the same colour after all. They all look the same, Richard. Oh no, darling, it's just the lights. Oh, what about your companions who are trapped behind? Because that's what happens when you don't complete a challenge. Yeah, that's right. If you didn't complete a challenge, you were then locked in the little room in which the challenge took place. Now, obviously, it's television, and you don't know quite how long they spent in there, but every now and then, you'd go back to somebody who'd been trapped on the camera, and they looked pissed off. They looked pissed off. They were in there surrounded by cheap, early-era Doctor Who type special effects that replicated some ridiculous task that they had to complete. Meanwhile, their companions, in the very essence of futility, are jumping around, possibly for as little as 5 or 10 seconds, trying to stuff these identical leaflets into the things, because there was gold and silver, as I say, and every silver one was minus a gold. It needed however many gold it was to win the prize. But they were all silver. That's the truth of it. It was like the Running Man. Do you know what I mean? Nobody ever wins. They just end up dead and rotted in some bloody side room. Where's Bill? He doesn't come back to work. I don't know. There was a mysterious note. Sure, they wouldn't have left him to rot and die in that room, would they? At the mercy of Richard O'Brien and God knows what else. What terrible things stalk the maze when darkness falls. The whole thing was like some kind of mythological trickster's paradise, if you die and you fall into the domain of Loki, you'll be tortured forever in the Crystal Maze. Running around, screaming, pursued by the phantoms of your failure, locked in rooms with your own sense of melancholy for what seems like forever. They could buy you out with a crystal, But then obviously that's 5 poxy seconds of time less that you have in the Crystal Dome. And that's when you find out the worth of a man. Oh yes, is he worth even 5 seconds of your time? Will you buy him out, team captain? Will you buy him out?